Hey, how's everybody doing? Appreciate everybody tuning in to my channel. Untouchable Conservative. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And I'm going to get right into it, man. I'm going to get right into it. Why are black people hated when we say we are Republican? You know, why is it that no other race of people is more scrutinized when they say they are a Republican than black people? You know, for a long time I voted Democrat, but I never knew why I was a Democrat. I never knew what Democrats stood for. I never knew what they ran on. I just knew that my family voted Democrat and all Republicans are evil. That's all I knew. That's all I was ever told. I never did any research. I didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? And just for the sake of the topic, I don't believe ultimately that one party is superior to another party. I believe that we need two sides to see and to come together and to actually make a difference in our country. Because if we all thought the same, then there would never be any progress. So I know a lot of Democrats hate Republicans, but I'm glad that we have two different sides, because if we all thought alike, nothing would ever change. You know, so I'm good. I'm good with the Democratic Party. I don't hate Democrats. I don't wish any ill will towards them. You know, and I know it's a lot of hatred towards Trump right now about a lot of things, but I'm gonna let y'all know I don't agree with everything Trump does either. I never agree with everything Obama did, but that's why we live in a democracy. You know, no man walked this earth that was perfect except Jesus Christ. You know, but the Republican Party was the party that was against slavery in the beginning. A lot of black people don't know this. Okay? The Republican Party is the one that ran against the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party wanted to keep black people enslaved as property. The Democratic Party was a party of the Ku Klux Klan. The Democratic Party then passed one civil rights law for black people, so that we could be on equal grounds with white people. They wanted to consider us after the Civil War as still property, and even after the Civil War, the South still murdered hundreds of thousands of black people because they still saw us as property. You know? You know, it really wasn't until Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation to set black people free. And at that point in time, some people still wasn't free because they didn't, you know, they had people still working on the slave plantations and they didn't tell them, you know. So it's a lot, man. But you know, when I tell somebody I'm a conservative in the black community, you know, they look at me like a ghost, or they might call you, you know, it's, you know, They might say something racist like a coon or something, or Uncle Tom or something like that. Because in their mind, if we don't all think alike, then you're wrong. But we don't talk about how the biggest threat to a black man in America is not a white supremacist. It's not somebody in the Ku Klux Klan. It's another black person. The odds are that me staying in the hood, the odds are another black man is going to attack me and try to take my life. You know, it's not going to be a Trump supporter. It's going to be somebody in my own community that's going to try to hurt me. You know, and it's the sad truth. Even if you're not in the streets, you still got that up on you. You know. So a lot of people still want to be Democrats. And to me, the Democratic Party, all they stand for is death, destruction, and lies. You know, especially they lie to the black community because they want to turn all our children, all our young boys into girls. They want to push this Pride Month agenda on us and put us and keep us in a self-destruction state. And like I said, Trump ain't perfect. I can't really say I agree with the war. But if you do your research, Trump didn't start this war. He didn't start it at all. This war was going on way before he even got in office. Now, do I agree with everything he's going about, how he's going about fighting the war? No. But I will say that Democrats and Republicans both said that Iran cannot get a nuclear bomb. And that's on record. Hillary Clinton said that, and Barack Obama. Mother Condoleezza Rice said Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb. You know. And do I believe that Israel is pulling our coattail a little bit? Yeah, absolutely. But you gotta remember, Israel's a badass country, man. Israel has more power, arguably, in the Middle East than any other country in the Middle East. Because the Jews control the money. Black people, we don't own nothing. All we do is buy shit. All we want is rims and Gucci bags, long fingernails, and a bunch of other stupid stuff that don't even matter. You know, so we got to start changing our mentality, man. We control our own destiny, you know. And I remember watching The Matrix when it first came out. And they was talking about, I think it was Neo and Morpheus. And it was either The Matrix 1 or 2. And he was telling Neo about The Matrix. And he was saying that some people don't want to leave the Matrix. And it messed Neo up. And he said, well, why not? He said, because some people don't want to deal with what's reality. He said, some people don't want to leave the Matrix. They happy in the Matrix. And I think a lot of black people are just happy being in the Matrix. I think a lot of black people in the hood especially they care about being liked by other people, because of peer pressure. A lot of y'all do drugs because you see other people doing drugs. A lot of y'all smoke. You don't even like smoking, but the people you're around smoking. You don't want to steal cars, but the people around you stealing cars. You don't want to be in a gang, but your family in the gang. You know what I'm saying? So when you tell people that, when black people say they're not a Democrat, it's something instant. It's an instant hate from another black person. Or you don't think like us. Or you think you're better than us. It's an instantaneous hate that I can't describe, that I never felt in my whole life. A hatred from my own people that says, I hope you fail at everything you do. But you don't know the history of the Democratic Party. You don't know the history of the Democratic Party. All you know is you hate Trump. You don't know what the Democratic Party was founded on. You don't know when it was started. You don't know the principles of what the Democratic Party was standing for. You don't know nothing about the Democratic Party. But all you know is you hate Trump. That's all you know. I hate Trump so much. Whatever Trump is talking about, I hate Trump. I hate Trump so much that I'm going to disregard all factual information and historical records of the Democratic Party because I hate this one man. And that blows my mind. My family hates that I'm a Republican because I'm not in the Matrix no more. But if I'm in the Matrix, everything is fine. As long as I stay plugged in and play victim, everything is fine. But as soon as I wake up out the Matrix, everybody is against me. Or why you want to leave the Matrix? Why you trying to get into reality? Why you reading factual information? Why you telling us historical evidence that the Democratic Party was racist? Why don't you want to kill your baby? Why don't you want to celebrate Pride Month? Yeah, it's different. It's different. See, long as you in the Matrix, you good. Stay in the Matrix, you safe. That's why in the Matrix they was always fighting. Because when you leave, you're going to always be in battle. Long as you stay where everybody else is, you good. And I believe that most black people don't want to know the truth. They don't want to know the truth. They don't want to hear that the Democratic Party used to celebrate by hanging and lynching people in the South for trying to register to vote. They don't want to hear that. They want to stay in the Matrix where it's safe. Because if you knew and if you did your research, I guarantee you wouldn't want to be a Democrat anymore. I love you with the strength of Christ. Thank you guys for tuning into my video. Like, share, and subscribe.